We're very excited to be here. Obviously, over the years, we've all been campaigning to get Gil in because he certainly deserved it and kept going on the ballot. Unfortunately, they overlooked him for 34 times. The 35th, it was a lucky charm. So, we were proud to be a player with the Mets in '69. He changed the culture of the whole organization. We became a winning organization. It's been great fun. Well, he did. He was one of the first guys I met in 1962, and when I joined the ball club, he took me aside. He said, "You've got to learn some fundamentals of playing first base. You have to learn footwork. You have to know your hand action, what you have to do." He was very instrumental in teaching me how to play first base. He left us, became a manager in Washington. When he came back, he saw that I learned how to play first base, and it was a tremendous addition to me.
We were kind of loose cannons before he got there. We were doing our own thing, and we somehow had got used to losing. And when he got there, he turned everything around. So it was twofold. We respected him in a way that you would respect a father, and we fell in line as he was a lieutenant. So we were both a ball club and a family because he brought all us together and made us understand that if we were going to win, it was going to be because we were a complete unit. We were a team, both on and off the field. So when you tie all that together, that's what happened in '69, and it's not for Gil Hodges. If not for Gil Hodges, none of this would have taken place. Even though we had the nucleus, and when we got Clendenin and one or two other players, if we had had anybody but him, we wouldn't be talking about the 1969 Mets.
Well, you're asking a guy who had a pretty fractious relationship with Gil Hodges, and I lay all of that on my immaturity. When Gil came to the New York Mets in 1968, I had the best year of my career in 1967 and kind of thought I knew what I needed to do and how I needed to go about playing the game. And Gil, with his authoritarianism, and that's what it was, that grated on me a good bit. But here's the bottom line. He wanted you to act like an adult, make yourself the best baseball player you could, and go out there on the field and help the New York Mets win baseball games. And that's all he was about. And, I could do some of it some of the time, but not all of it all of the time. And we had our problems. But Gil, we knew Gil in game was as good a manager as you could get. And I wrote my memoir, went back and looked at all of the play-by-play sheets from 1969, all of the in-game decisions that Gil made as a manager. Incredible is all I could come away with. We went into spring training, we weren't sure what that team was all about. We had Amos Otis in the outfield. They were trying to make him a third baseman, which he wanted nothing to do with. They were trying a lot of people. Rod Gasper got to play a lot. We were working a lot of people into that lineup in the early part of the season. Gil's trying to figure out what kind of team this is. Well, I think by the All-Star break, he kind of had an idea, and we became mostly a platoon team. I think we only had 4 regulars at the positions. Everywhere else we platooned because that's what made us a better team, and that was Hodges' call.
Well, I think it's well deserved and long overdue. He was a terrific manager and had a great career with the Dodgers. I watched him as a kid growing up in St. Louis. Those Dodger teams beat all my Cardinal teams as a kid, and they were only overshadowed because the Yankees were so great at that era. But I think it's so apropos now that he's finally going in. And in some ways, I do believe Gil has become kind of an American hero, partly because of not getting in, and partly because he was such a great human being in World War II and had developed so many fans over the years, not only in New York but Los Angeles. And so I think it's so great that today he's finally going in, and for me it's very, very special. He managed by feel, and he knew every player on his team. He got everybody involved, and I think the greatness in his ability as a manager was the fact that he made everybody feel part of the team, and at some point he knew they were going to be needed to help us win. And I think all of us who played for him appreciated that. We knew where we stood. He wasn't. I didn't have the best, closest relationship with him. In reality, we just played for him, but we respected him so much, and the fact that he was a guy that knew his players and got everything out of them, I think that's a real tribute to him.